No pain, no palm. No thorns, no throne. No gall, no glory. No cross, no crown. Today, April 14, is being referred to as Palm Sunday, as it commemorates the entrance of Jesus into Jerusalem when palm branches were placed in his path before his later arrest and crucifixion. It also marks the beginning of Holy Week. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. We have an interesting show lined up for you today, so stay tuned.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs round here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Easter, a time observed to reflect on the death and the resurrection of Jesus. Here in Jamaica, we have our own customs and traditions that are practiced around this time. Take a look.
Easter, a holiday for some to relax on the beach with family and friends or just hang out at their favorite spots. But for Christians, the day, also known as Resurrection Sunday, takes on a deeper meaning. It marks the day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. This, of course, followed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ 3 days before, which is called Good Friday.
He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told while he was still with you in Galilee, the Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again.
Easter Sunday is the culmination of the Passion of Jesus, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. At the heart of the matter is God's love for humanity. Over the years, a mixture of traditions and practices have been perpetuated, like placing egg white in a container of water on Holy Thursday night so that by Good Friday you will see your future. This is determined by the pattern which is formed by the coagulating egg white. Then there is the eating of bun and cheese. This custom dates back to Britain with the eating of hot cross buns on Good Friday. It's a small, round, slightly sweet bun made with a cross cut on the top, which is understood as a symbol of the crucifixion, thus the name hot cross bun, which was only sold during specific times such as Good Friday. The British brought this custom when they settled in Jamaica. Though the practice has diminished in Britain, it is still prevalent here in Jamaica. Of course, we've added our spices to the bun mixture and a faithful partner, cheese. Bun and cheese is mainly eaten during the Easter holiday. There is also the practice of some Jamaicans to cut the physic nut or bleeding tree around midday on Good Friday. It is believed that the sap will seep a red substance that signifies the blood of Jesus. It's also believed that the crucifixion was carried out on a similar type of tree. Numerous churches are decorated with the Easter lily during the holiday. It's a plant which seems to appropriately bloom on Easter Sunday. The Easter lily symbolizes purity, innocence, and virtue due to its snow-white color and white trumpet. Another custom is the exclusion of meat for the Lenten period. That's 40 days after Ash Wednesday, with fish being the main staple on many tables.
Mommy,
Yes, sweetie?
how can I change my world?
You can change your world with just one word,
Thank you, Miss.
one action.
We can change the world with acts of random kindness.
Stay kind, act kind, be kind.
This system, the Jamaica Electronic Single Window for Trade, is expected to make business easier for all businessmen and women. What system, you ask? Find out more next.
Welcome to Get It Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Today we're looking at the electronic single window for trade, an online platform being developed by the government to facilitate trade. And to discuss where we are in the process, the changes that will take place, and the benefits is the National Project Manager, Maurice Coke. Happy to have you, Mr. Coke.
Thank you very much. It's indeed a pleasure to be here to share.
Yes, yes. We'll start at the beginning. What exactly is this initiative? Tell us about it.
All right, the electronic single window for trade is a platform being developed, an online platform where traders can submit for applying for trade permits and fulfill all government regulatory requirements as it relates to import, export, and transit. One single entry point electronically.
Right, so this will mean that persons will not have to go to these various different entities, agencies, to get, to facilitate, to help with their trading initiatives.
Indeed.
Indeed.
What it means is that from the comfort of your home, you might not be in office or anywhere, because it's an online portal.
It is online,
yeah,
yes.
The electronic form being developed. You can apply for permit to import or to export, and you can, and it will also allow you to fulfill all regulatory requirements. Also, it's an online platform for payment as well. So it's one single point.
Yes.
So instead of a trader going for maybe two different, what they call BRAs, Border Regulatory Agency,
yes,
to apply, still utilize the same form in terms of the application form, which comes at a cost, paper-based, right? Just one single point of entry, yes, and the process starts.
So what is the genesis of yes.
I'm glad you used the word genesis, the origin, the beginning.
Yes.
Right, there is a national impetus in terms of we improving what we call our ranking. World Bank has a ranking it does every year of about 190 countries, and there are many parameters, but the one that cuts directly in terms of this project is the ease of doing cross-border trade. Yes. And we are presently ranked by the 2019 edition at 134 in terms of our position.
And our government is not satisfied with that.
Indeed, neither
exactly.
am I. Arnold, Jamaica should be satisfied.
Yes,
because what you find is that if we can improve the ranking from 134, remember it's 190 countries in all, so we're at the bottom half.
Yes.
Right, you'll find that clearly it will attract investors, foreign investment, and that would dovetail into greater job creation, greater opportunity, economic opportunity in terms of the country and so on. So we are on a drive, an impetus, as I would call it, to improve our ranking. And part of it is to facilitate trade. Another reason why we are going this route is that we are now a signatory since 2016 to the WTO, that's the World Trade Organization,
yes,
Trade Facilitation Agreement that was first signed in 2013.
So tell us about that, the Trade Facilitation Agreement.
Okay, well, the crux of it is that all the countries that are involved are a member country in terms of the TFA, sorry, the WTO TFA, have a mandate, or they're being encouraged to improve the efficiency of doing trade, right? And the thing about it, which is why we are so strategically positioned, right, is that the WTO estimates that if trade can improve worldwide, right, that there is a potential of increasing trade overall of $100 trillion. Now, look at it this way. The person who's ranked number 1 has less inefficiency by far, as opposed to the person who's ranked at number 50, right? So we have more room for improvement by improving our ranking. So therefore, in terms of that pie, $1 trillion pie, we can eat into that $1 trillion pie more than the person at number 1, the country at rank 1 or 10 or 50.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the electronic single window for trade is an element of the trade agreement.
Yes. The trade agreement also carries other outputs. That's just one of the outputs in terms of we trying to let trade become more efficient. There are other things we're looking at in terms of the BRAs, the Border Regulatory Agencies, that represents any government agency that has something to do with inspecting at the border.
Tell us about some of those agents. Who are they? Like, which entities?
Well, the implementing agency right now, where my team is based, 24 of us, is the Jamaica Customs Agency.
Yes.
But then you have Trade Board, JAMPRO, for example, Veterinary Service Division, VSD, Plan Quarantine, right? And you have quite a bit of others, like NCRA as well, and so on.
Where are we in the process now? How far are we just at the start? Tell me about the process.
We are gathering momentum. Still a way to go because this project is scheduled for about 36 months. And we started really get ramping up. It started about August into September last year. But how it runs is that what we do when we go into the BRAs is that the team is 24 strong and we have 5 what we call business analysts. Their job is to go into the BRA and to assess the as-is, how their processes are right now, and to come up with terms of doing analysis of that to lead to what we call the to-bes. To be specific, what needs to be done in terms of their policies, procedures, and even their legal framework, right, to let their processes now fit into the electronic single window that is being developed. So the BAs have completed their work in the first border regulatory agency identified, and our developers are now using that information to develop what they call a coding program that needs to create that electronic form.
So you've completed that phase and you're happy about that phase. And so what's going to be next?
What is next is the launch of the testing of the prototype that is going to come up very shortly. So by the end of May, thereabout, into June, and then the launch after which. What's important though is that the work continues. The approach being taken is what we call agile project management, which means that we're going to be phasing in each BRA one at a time into the electronic single window for trade. So the business analysts have moved on to the second and third BRA, while the programmers that are in-house and so on is developing the single window for the first agency, and then as they complete their as-is into the to-bes, and that is going to be then generate the code to add the second BRA into the single window and the third and so on. So as we progress, we call it progressive elaboration. As you progress, what you'll find that means is that more fields will be added, it will become more functional across all BRAs, ultimately completing in 36 months.
You're watching Get the Facts, and we're talking about the single electronic window for trade. We'll be back with more information. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Mr. Cooks, tell me, what are the features of this electronic single window for trade?
All right. The feature, one of the main features is the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, a single entry point in terms of submission of trade-related data for you to apply for permits, certificates, license, and to fulfill all government regulatory requirements as it relates to international trade. That's important to mention international trade. So the feature also will involve, in terms of what it brings to the table, is greater transparency. Right? It also brings to the table greater predictability and also more efficiency. And that entails that a trader don't have to be paying the costs from all various BRAs in these terms of the hard copy forms to basically filling out some information that overlaps on each of the form at a cost and so on. So that's a big feature. And of course, it allows you to able to see what is happening in terms of you getting a reference number back, and it will come back to you in terms of where you are in your process, whether it's approved or it's delayed or denied, or perhaps even if you need to submit more information, there's something missing. Right?
And so this is not going to be a long, drawn-out process. How difficult it is to implement changes. How simple, how easy, how will this process work for the persons the traders themselves who need to use it? It's not something that we're going to be worried about.
It might seem that the surface like just an IT project, but no, it's really about change management and stakeholder buying. As a matter of fact, we're all in it together. One of the things that the team, and we're based at Jamaica Customs, they are the implementing agency, Jamaica Customs Agency implementing. Yes. They are a BRA as well, and we are being led by UNCTAD, United Nations for Trade, Conference, Trade and Development. right, is that we have to be doing a public awareness. That's why I'm glad I'm here as well, because it's going to impact the way how Jamaica do trade overall, total impact. And so it is very far-reaching, and we are putting the necessary mechanism in place as well in terms of necessary redundancy, because remember we're going online now in terms of doing trade. All you need at the user end, all you really need is access to the internet and a device that can allow you to put in the information with what we call a universal resource locator
URL,
to get to
yes.
the application, yeah. And so it is much, much more simplified in terms of you doing trade across borders.
So you didn't talk about the cost, though, that it should be cost effective.
It's going to be cost effective by far. Just imagine, I know sometimes our gas price go up and down. Just imagine now that you don't have to leave your office or wherever you are to submit for asking for reapplying for a permit or fulfilling any regulatory requirement in terms of fees, etc. Everything will be there once you can get online and you access the electronic single window for trade application.
So you're now sensitizing the BRAs. What about the traders themselves? When are you going to start that process?
That has actually started already. We are doing a number of things in parallel. So we have gone along with UNCTAD and myself. Well, we're just one team, by the way. We call ourselves PIT. I'm not supposed to pronounce it because, you know, but we're the PIT. And we have done 2 change management seminars, and that was targeting the border regulatory agencies. It's 2 phases to the project. Phase 1 is 9 BRAs.
Yes.
And then we're going to have phase 2 with 11 BRAs coming on. We have also done what we call sensitization programs, and we have done 2 of that as well. And also have reached out in terms of the various key stakeholders, the Jamaica, the custom brokers, the 2 associations, that is it, the JMEA, Jamaica Manufacturer Export Association, JCCA, Integral Involved as well, Shipping Association. So we have been moving around, or we have engagement, so to really promote and present it to the trade community on a whole. All right, so that's a key part to get this done.
You just mentioned UNCTAD.
Yeah.
What is UNCTAD's role in this whole process?
Yeah, UNCTAD plays a pivotal role in the process, although we're all together. Because I represent the national project team, me and my team, 24 strong, business analysts, trainers, developers, business intelligence, quality assurance, and we also have documentation specialists along with our monitoring evaluation persons. Quite a team. But UNCTAD, they are leading the way in terms of how the prototype is to be developed, and also guiding us in terms of even the BPR and other areas. Also, I don't want to, it would be remiss of me to mention that the legal framework, because some of the BRAs, their legal framework, like for example, the trade agreement and so on, is a bit behind in terms of years. So we're also in conjunction with some other government agency like Office of the Cabinet, and being led by what we call TF Square, the Trade Facilitation Task Force, which actually giving oversight to all 6 outputs, right? That's an important aspect as well. Yes. So we are looking at all of that to really, in a sense, revamp not only the way we do trade, but even the legal framework. Because the aim is for us to move up the ranking. It depends on the way you look at numbers or the ranking itself.
So the aim of this electronic single window for trade is to improve the whole trading process, right? To make trading easier, more efficient, and to get more persons.
More predictable, more transparent, and efficient.
Uniformity of data.
Yes, and so on. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we have started, as you said, what are some of the agencies that you're engaging? And in the first instance, which agency is really responsible for the project? It is the Jamaica Customs Agency. The
Jamaica Customs Agency is the implementing agency.
Yes.
But the fact that we are housed there and the infrastructure being developed as the prototype is developed over the 36 months, they are also automatically what we call the interim operator.
Yes.
Because if we're looking at things like custom support, in terms of the infrastructure that needs to go in terms of also the disaster and business recovery. So we're also partnering with eGov in terms of the backup system. So we want to ensure that there is stability and continuity and accessibility of trade 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes, and which other ministries?
Or ones that are going to be impacted in terms of the border regulatory agencies, as I give some example. Trade Board Limited is considered a border regulatory agency. Plant quarantine and pesticides, I'm kind of missing the name fully.
Yes.
Pharmaceutical division, also a veterinary service division.
Yes.
So we have Jamaica Customs Agency itself is part of phase 1. And so there are 9 in all in phase 1 that's going to be implemented in a phase basis.
So who is funding the electronic single window for trade?
This project is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB.
Yes, and it's an important project. Tell Jamaica why it is important to get buy-in in this program.
Let me just lean forward and tell you it's so important. Remember now that how things are from a world point of view, a lot of these countries, these investors, they look at rankings. Yes, it's good to know that, boy, this is used in both countries, but they don't watch that. They watch statistics in terms of where to invest and so on. If we improve from 134 and really improve in the ranking significantly, that in itself will attract foreign investors to our shores. And the spin-off of that is job creation and other opportunities for all Jamaicans to get to. So, you know, it's either all of us as Jamaicans win or all of us lose. But guess what? We are all winners. The campaign will spread far beyond the trade community in terms of the awareness. Right? Myself, the trainers, and the PR company will do our endeavor best to ensure that Jamaica, the boxing term is this, punch above our weight class.
Thank you so much. That's our program. We've been looking at the electronic single window for trade, and that's been developed to streamline trading within Jamaica. Our resource person has been Maurice Coke, manager of the electronic single window for trade. Until next time, I'm Anthony Campbell. Take care.
Farming, like every other occupation, has its ups and it has its downs. But oftentimes it's how you overcome these struggles that determines your success. The government still has lands available for you to tackle your dream. Find out more about the process next.
To provide jobs for persons, you know, it lets me feel like, you know, I'm really contributing to the economy of the country. It's just a good feeling. And to produce the quality products, you know, to compete with the international market, and to produce goods that actually look much better than imported goods, is a good feeling for me.
Agro Investment Corporation continues to scout for lands in Jamaica that are best suited for agricultural production through the National Land Agency and the Commission of Lands, and also with private enterprises. So wherever there is unused government lands or private lands, Agro Investment Corporation will profile these lands.
So by now, we should all be aware of the benefits of leasing lands from the government. But once you've leased the land, how do you maximize returns? Well, knowing the soil type is important. For instance, did you know that over in the Ebony Park Spring Plain Agro Park, the soil type impacts the kinds of crops that can be planted there?
Ebony Park Agro Park is about 1,100 acres, and likewise the Spring Plain, and that's roughly all the lands within there. There are areas of non-arable areas, but there are arable areas. Arable areas amount on the Ebony Park side to about 800 acres. There's a lot of different soil types, predominantly Bonegate, clay loam. Basically anything can grow here. Once it requires a pH of about 6.5 to about 7. There are pockets where the pH might fall to about 5.5, 5.8. So if there's a crop that needs to be having a lower pH, soil could be amended to facilitate that. But basically anything will grow.
So let's revisit our checklist. We've applied and submitted all the necessary documentations, including proof of our capacity to invest in the land. We've learned about soil types and pH balances in the soil. What's next after you've been approved?
They would assign you a plot number, or they'd give you a designated area to where you'd be assigned. I guess you'd view it to see maybe what you'd need to do. If it needs a bit of clearing, you might want to look at that, how you go about doing that. You'll be advised as to the best way to get that done. You might want to go to the NIC because our water is pressurized, and so the NIC supplies it. So a part of your contract would give you the ability to go to NIC with tenure of land, and then they would then come and put your meter on so that you get ready supply for water. We also offer tractor services to plow, harrow, farrow, and other activities that you might want, rotovate and so on for your lands. So you'll be able to do that. Once you do that, we could tell you of maybe different cycles, crop cycles, where you might want to plant, best time for certain crop. You might be able to go out of these seasons, but at least we'll be able to tell you that this crop does well in a particular season. The risk might be higher in another season, but so might be the returns. So you could get advice as to that. So local advice will be there ready for you.
Meet Henry Givens, a youth farmer who is a beneficiary of this initiative. He started out acquiring just 5 acres of land, and today he is up to 15. Givens plants various crops at different stages, including Scotch bonnet pepper, sweet potato, and Maruga red watermelons, as well as slicing and plummy tomatoes.
Leasing land from the government, it is actually beneficial, and at the point where I would actually want to lease more if available. You know, I am not employed otherwise, so it allows me to take care of my 2 babies, and it allows me to eat and survive. So it is something very beneficial, I would say. Life here at Ebony Park, it's twofold. It's good sometimes and sometimes it's challenging. One, persons around, some persons, they know what to do with their crops, for example, and they don't want to do it. So sometimes, we have a lot of pest and disease outbreak, and some persons just don't want to invest the funds or do what is right to actually, make the agro-park much better and a much cleaner environment. And then, also, sometimes there's a major issue with the whole irrigation system. It costs a lot sometimes, because even if you look into the pepper field, sun scalding is a result of a lack of water supply sometimes. But it's a blessing, and there is not only negative, because once you have irrigation, then without the irrigation I couldn't do anything like this, none at all.
Farming can be an expensive venture, but it's also beneficial. As a youth farmer, the challenges may not even be financial.
Some older persons, because they're so, relatively young, they don't want to work with you because they said they don't want to work with a younger person. However, sometimes it's good to know that, for some persons that really can't afford to go into the farming as deep, that you can provide them with not only a job, but you can also assist them with technical advice to improve their smaller production that they do as well. My advice to younger farmers or investors is that they should not be discouraged or swayed from agriculture. It is something that can be beneficial, and it is a good way to make a good foundation for themselves and their families. So it's something that they should look into and be strong about it. That's the only way we can build our country.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Download our app on your Apple and Android devices, and you can always visit our website at any time, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.